I'm G.
I'm Jay. Together we are G&J's Fitness.
So we're here today to talk a little bit about the upcoming Olympia.
2016.
7 weeks out, something like that.
7.5 weeks.
Just kind of here to throw out some predictions to update you guys a little bit about on each athletes, how they're looking and stuff like that. So first, I would kind of like to do our predictions just to get that rolling.
Bold predictions, you could call it.
I'll go first, and I'll say my one, and then he'll say his one, and then we'll debate.
We'll go vice versa.
Obviously.
Yeah. I'll be right, obviously.
Now, the number ones. It's this Olympia is going to be pretty competitive, I think. But
one of the most competitive we've had in the last couple of years.
Even without Kai, which is crazy enough.
Crazy to think about not having Kai for a second year.
Awful, especially being two huge,
absolutely
huge Kai Green fans. Love him, love his work, stuff like that. But beside that, my number one, and as much as it pains me to say, and I know it pains you to say too.
You gotta give the man credit though. He's
5 in a row.
He's gonna be 6 after this.
He's gonna be 6 after this.
He's gonna bring it this year.
About. You guys know exactly what we're talking about.
Philly.
I mean, guest posed in Germany at the FIBO Expo, and
he looked sick.
7 weeks out. He's going to be tough to beat, and he wasn't even all the way nearly as lean as he could have been.
Oh yeah,
I think we can agree on that.
7 more weeks, majority of the people we're talking about are going to lose up to 20 pounds in 7 weeks, and are going to be shredded to the bone, have paper thin skin, and they're going to look outstanding.
Yeah, especially with Phil's mastery of posing, of shredding. And he weighs 265 come Olympia time?
Yeah, he's gonna step on stage in the 250, 260 range, and it's just his muscle bellies are supreme to everyone else's, and he's figured out how to out angle everyone on stage, from having his feet behind the line and leaning forward to make his chest stick out and his shoulders pop out more.
If you guys can actually remember the 2012 Olympia, I
do believe it was,
and him and Kai, when the rivalry was at its peak, and they were both posing, and they were bumping into each other. Like
elbows being flown, stepping over the line.
The judge was literally saying, "Gentlemen, step apart. Gentlemen, step apart." You know,
they didn't want to give an inch.
And I mean, to this day, I believe that's the most exciting Olympia of all time, undoubtedly.
Been very exciting that Olympia was.
But the point is, that shows the mastery of Phil's true posing power. I mean, he knows.
He's very good. He's on top of the world right now.
Yep. I mean, yeah. Anywho, our number 2s are different, and it's different throughout the rest of the line. So, we'll add some excitement to it, I guess. My number 2 is Dexter Jackson. And we'll listen to his a bit. But Dexter Jackson, I mean, how can you not love the guy? Placed second last year. He's always there.
He shows up each and every year.
It's the same. He's always the same,
He just doesn't believe in age, I guess.
It's like chicken and rice. We eat it every day for lunch. It's the same thing, but it's so good, and that is Dexter Jackson.
My second place finisher is Sean Roden, and I picked Sean for one major reason, because for a couple major reasons, actually. He's younger than Dexter, okay? And second off, he is a much better version of Dexter Jackson. He's bigger than Dexter. He's the exact same, except he's just scaled up. He's a few inches bigger, 20 pounds heavier. He's slightly bigger, and he's going to bring it this year.
I think with every athlete in the Olympia, I mean, this is going to be a competitive Olympia. I mean,
the most competitive we had from the bottom to the top in a long time.
If Kai had been there, this would be if not, I mean, it already is. I guess it's already the most competitive. Imagine if Kai was there.
The only era that would even compare to this would be the '90s, and they were stacked. And this is the new era of bodybuilding, and it's stacked right now.
I think it's great for the sport with all these athletes being there. I mean, minus Kai, like the 6th Kai reference this video, but
very frustrating.
We're heartbroken, to tell you the truth. But it's great for the sport. It's great for the younger kids coming in to watch. They see all these. I mean, this is the Olympia. It's the best show of the best show, and now we finally have, for the first time in a long time, the best of the best coming to compete.
Everyone's going to be coming up top of their game because they know anything can happen now.
Anyway, my number 3, Cedric McMillan. Cedric McMillan, he's got the biggest legs. His legs are just unreal. If you watched a little bit about the Arnolds this year, like the Europe one, the Columbus one, all those other places, he looked great.
Arnold himself even said that he was
yep.
more muscular than Kai.
He said blatantly stated.
I would choose him as what he said.
Cedric McMillan was better than Kai. He said it multiple times. And, Kai's famous for the unreal posing routines with all the dancing and then all the music and just the ingenuity of it. But he said Cedric McMillan outposed him, which is why I believe Cedric McMillan is my number 3 because he can pose so good. If not, just as good as Phil Heath.
The reason I don't have Cedric McMillan as number 3 is more times than not, he doesn't show up. He got lucky and showed up for the Arnold Classic. I will admit that. But more times than not, he doesn't show up. So that's where I come different than you. I go with Dexter Jackson, your number 2. He's my number 3. He loses a spot this year. He's going to be flawless still, but he's going to be out. He's going to be outsized by Sean Roden. That's the only downfall to him.
Yeah. We're going back to the Cedric point with him, not showing up. And I think this is the turning point.
Multiple times he hasn't showed up for the Olympia. Who knows?
But he's never done so well in the offseason like he did in the Arnold. He
took the offseason very seriously. That is true.
Good. He looked really, really good. That is for sure. Anyhow, next point. My number 4, Sean Roden. Great bodybuilder, consistent guy. He's there. He's always there to compete. Just like you said, he's got some size on Dexter. I think the only problem is his posing isn't there compared to my top 3. I don't think his posing is entirely there.
That's his weak spot, but he's worked on it. He's going to bring it this year.
Mm-hmm. Which everyone's bringing it this year. I'm excited.
I'm excited for it. I wish I was out in Vegas to watch it.
It's huge for the sport. It really is.
It's bringing life back into it.
Yeah. What's your 4?
My 4 is Big Ramy. And I went with Big Ramy not just because he's the mass monster of this generation or the biggest bodybuilder of all time.
He's giant. Bigger than Ronnie.
7 weeks out, he is more shredded than he was all last year. And he still has 20 pounds to go before he's at stage weight.
Yeah.
He's going to step on stage probably around 320, somewhere in there. And he's going to be phenomenal this year. He is a solid 4, and he's a solid contender in the next coming years to de-reign Mr. Olympia Phil Heath.
Yeah, there's no question. He's the biggest bodybuilder of all time. Bigger than Ronnie, bigger than Jay Cutler.
Huge. His off-season weight's up in the 340s, which is unreal.
He's going to step on stage at 300 plus. How many guys have ever done that?
Not many.
Not many. Ronnie probably, maybe Jay Cutler. Kai said he did, but did he really step over at 300?
No.
I don't think so either.
Not a chance.
He said he did, though, so I'll take his word for it because he's my boy. I like Kai. But, Big Ramy's a huge guy. But as we know, the turn that bodybuilding is taking is not
they're going away from the mass monsters, essentially. Back to the aesthetics.
No bloated gut anymore. Going more classic physique, And I think that is why he's so a 4 on yours.
Yeah.
And then going into mine, he's a 5 on mine. I think that's why he's, bodybuilding's changing. We're throwing more posing into it.
Posing's becoming a factor again, which is what it needs. It's what it needs to be. You can't be up there shaking in your best shape of your life, and you're shaking to hold a pose for 30 seconds.
Yep. What kind of conditioning is that anyway?
Yeah. You got to be able to maintain for a while.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. But Big Ramy's my 5. So, and your 5 is?
My 5's Riley Winkler. And bold prediction, and I say this because I'm banking on Cedric McMillan not showing up hard and ready to go. Mm-hmm. And if he leaves the door open, Riley Winkler's going to take it right from him. Mm-hmm. They're both my 5 and 6, but I'm thinking Cedric's not going to show up this time.
Yeah, it's really bold.
That's a bold prediction.
We all know.
He's had a bloated gut the last couple of years, but at the New York Pro, he took second to the Dexter Jackson, who is amazing.
Yeah, Dexter Jackson's
he took second to him, who took second to Phil in the Olympia last year. So, just off that alone, you would think he's going to be in the top 5.
He's another mass monster guy though too, like Big Rammy.
He's huge.
I mean, that's it. I mean, he is.
And he's going to show up shredded right now.
I mean, it's going to be a good Olympia. I mean, our top 5.
You might as well just call it the best Olympia of all time.
Yeah, I mean, already we're 7 weeks out too. I mean,
yeah, they're gonna get leaner and meaner, and it's gonna be great.
And this was without Dennis Wolf and Guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dennis
Wolf is also out, which is
he would show up. He'd be an easy top 3 contender if he was healthy at this time. He always comes shredded, paper thin skin.
It's really a shame that he doesn't have the chance to compete. You know?
Yeah,
I mean, because he's a great bodybuilder.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been there how many years?
He's gonna come back, and he's gonna be top 3 next year.
Yeah,
no doubt. He always brings it. Mm-hmm. He's shredded every time.
I think, honestly, him or Branch Warren might go down as top 5 bodybuilders who never won an Olympia. I think
very
they're
easily
just good. You know.
Yeah.
Now, after seeing our top 5, we, as huge Kai Green fans, want to talk about how
very
frustrating, and just how much we wanted to see him beat Phil. Like, I mean, why can he not beat Phil? Just is it that hard? I mean, Phil's great, obviously, but is Kai not that great? I mean, he took
Kai's posing's better than Phil with the dynamics of it, of having how he poses with them flips.
I mean, it's just what they want. It's just what bodybuilding wants.
Yeah.
It's what the IFBB wants. They want
the politics behind it.
Yeah, that's. I mean, undeniably, there's some politics into the Olympia, which is
unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
The person who shows up the best on stage should win hands down.
But I think it's almost sports entertainment. I don't want to say like WWE. I really don't want to compare it to WWE, but it's not as rigged as that. I mean, obviously there's still
there's still a lot of spots open, but some of the spots you just know how they're gonna finish.
Like Phil, for example. Like I mean, he's great. He really is great. He's a Hall of Fame bodybuilder.
Yeah, it's gonna take
sure.
something to derail him right now.
And it's not. And I mean, if someone comes up equal as him, like they both get 39s, 38s, they both get the same score, Phil wins.
Because he's the reigning Mr. Olympia.
Because he's the reigning Mr. Olympia.
100%.
It's kind of a shame. And then since Kai's not there, and maybe because of the politics, maybe because Dynamic Muscle.
He's trying to focus on his company Dynamic Muscle and trying to make sure that's a success.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, we know last year he wanted to be there. He had that video up on his YouTube of him crying. Him actually crying.
He really wanted to be there. He just didn't like the contract he was given.
But this year, he doesn't want to be there.
No, he has
no
reason
clear.
to be there.
In the video where he said... they said the guy asked him what place will Kai Green place in,
and Kai Green says Kai Green won't place because he will not be there. He's not in it right now.
It was no emotions behind it. Why is he? I mean, maybe his love for it of competing has kind of died off.
Yeah.
Like he stated before. He says,
he didn't start bodybuilding to compete. It just led into competing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and made him into a legend. Yeah. Who's never won an Olympia, unfortunately. And
hopefully for the 2017 Olympia, we will see Kai Green step on stage.
It's doubtful, but
there's always hope.
I would love to see Kai win. Love to see Kai win. Just one Olympia.
One time.
And then he can be done. But now, come on, Kai. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe.
Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't.
Mm-hmm. Social media is down
in the description box below.
Yep. Follow us, and more videos will be coming your guys' way.
Very soon.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.